The NGA Hooters Tour is coming your way. This week, the hot and humid state of Texas is going to provide the backdrop for some of the best action you'll see in professional golf. It's the young pros of the NGA Hooters Tour in Houston, Texas. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's stop on the NGA Hooters Pro Golf Tour. It's the Raveno Classic coming to you from the beautiful Raveno Country Club. We're located in the northwest part of the great city of Houston in the community of Spring, Texas. This week, a lot is on the line. There's a $112,000 purse for the Raveno Classic, $25,000 for first place. Also, we're winding down on that big $500,000 Naturally Fresh Winners Points Championship. A lot is on the line. For the next 1 hour, you're going to be meeting the future of professional golf. It's all coming to you again from the Raveno Country Club here in Spring, Texas.
This broadcast is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants, home of world-famous chicken wings and the nearly world-famous Hooters Girls. And by Naturally Fresh Pure Spring Mountain Water. All water is not pure. Taste the quality of Naturally Fresh Pure Spring Water. By Jackaroo Sauce. If you just got sauce, you ain't got Jack. And by Smooth, rich-tasting Michelob. Beer or Michelob.
As we mentioned earlier in the show, we are in the northwest part of the city of Houston, in the community of Spring, Texas. Here, one of the big players in growth and development is the Northwest Area Chamber of Commerce.
This chamber particularly deals with a lot of quality of life issues that most chambers do not get into because we're in a very high-density residential area. So although we do all the services normal for a chamber for our business people, we do a lot of issues that deal with infrastructure.
The economic vitality of the area, everything we have going on, but we've still been able to maintain a kind of a country atmosphere, a lot of trees. People have done a pretty good job of building the area, but maintaining the tree structure. The foliage is very important. And again, just there's so many things to do up here. You don't have to go into downtown Houston to go to a play or take in a movie or find a good restaurant. They're all right up here in Northwest Houston.
Hi, my name is Brandy Goodson and I'm from the Hooters in Spring, and the NGA Hooters Golf Tournament will be right back.
You know what they say, sauce sells.
Get him out of here. Post it up, boys. Let's go.
There's ordinary beer, and then there's Michelob. Beer or Michelob?
People think that the Australian outback is full of young, wild ranch hands called jackaroos. Fact is, jackaroos are quite civilised. Until they grab hold of the big, bold taste of their favourite jackaroo barbie sauce. Then things can get a bit out of hand. Every jackaroo knows, if you don't have jackaroo barbie sauce, you ain't got jack.
This broadcast is brought to you by V-Flight, Play It, and by Hewlett-Packard.
Let's set up this 72-hole golf tournament now with action from Thursday and Friday first and second rounds.
Starting the Pro-Am, I started hitting it better, but the key to my last two rounds has been putting. I've never putted this well in competitive rounds back-to-back ever. It's just the greens are a lot like what I'm used to playing at home. and I'm used to it. Being from Pensacola, the Bermuda, the grainy Bermuda, which this is what, it's a lot less grain here, but and I'm just feels like I'm home on the greens. So hopefully that'll keep up for a few more days.
Saturday's third round provided some interesting action. Let's check that out. In red-hot Houston, Texas, the scores are hot after 2 rounds of play, especially the leader, Peter Dyson's at 13 under par. Dean Larson 4 shots back at 9 under, then Slevin, Wilson, Mike Schwartz at 6 under, and Robbie Skinner, and that's your leaderboard after 36 holes. So, 4 strokes sit between Peter Dyson and his nearest contender as they set off for Saturday's third round. Dyson struggling right from the start. A double bogey at the par 5 second hole. That's going to drop him to 11 under par. He'll finish with a 73, though, good enough to be the third round leader in this event.
You've played so well. I mean, seeing you up on the leaderboard is not something new, but it's always fun, and there's a little bit of stress, isn't there?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of stress, and it's the stress that comes with it is expected of you every week. And, you have your weeks where you're not playing well, you have your weeks where you're playing real well, and it really gets you down when you don't see your name up there. But it's been fun. It's really been fun this year.
Brian Slevin played well. This birdie putt at the 7th hole shows his strength around the greens. He finishes with a 69, 1 stroke off the lead. A couple of guys to watch on Sunday, Brooks Blackburn of Belvedere, South Carolina. He too birdied the 7th hole. Also, former PGA Tour player Mike Schwartz. He's 5 shots off the pace, and he's still very much in the hunt. Great play there. Here's the leaderboard after 54 holes of the Ravenel Classic. Again, Dyson your leader, but it's been cut to 1. Slevin just off the pace. You got Ford and Larson at 7 under par, very much in this tournament. Chad Brandt, young man who hails right from the area, had a lot of family watching, at 5 under par, followed by Blackburn, Nutt, Wilson, Reed, and Dickie Thompson, the veteran former PGA Tour player.
Hi, my name is Kimberly, and I work at the Hooters in Mangleman 290. We'll be right back.
Finding the best bottled water can be very confusing. At first glance, all water looks the same. But if you scientifically precipitate out the solids, you discover all water is not equal. Introducing Naturally Fresh Pure Spring Mountain Water, refreshingly pure. This naturally fresh spring water adds extra quality to the all-natural goodness of every naturally fresh product. Make the clear choice. Naturally Fresh Pure Spring Mountain Water.
For the first time in Houston, you can live in a guard-gated community with homes from the 100s to the 200s. Welcome to Canyon Gate, now open in 2 locations. Canyon Gate at historic Cinco Ranch on Mason Road south of I-10, and Canyon Gate at North Point on Highway 249 south of Tomball. 2 distinguished communities featuring Houston's premier builders and all the peace of mind of Canyon Gate.
This broadcast is brought to you by Rapport Composites, premium quality graphite shafts, and by Top Flight, the longest ball. As you can tell, on this Sunday, the weather is hot and the heat is on as the front runners just try to maintain position. Steve Ford, after bogeys at 4 and 5, finally gets things rolling here at the 6th. Nicely played into the green. Here you see Ford for birdie on the par 4 6th. That's going to help him out, but he's still trailing by 4 strokes. Brian Slevin has been struggling all day, off to a very bad start. As you can tell from that terrible lie, he does manage to get it on the green. Brian Slevin, his third shot on the par 5 second hole, and this is trouble. Moving way left, misses the green and off into the woods. Very tough one to dig out of there. Here we see his attempt, and it's not going to make the green. He drops 3 strokes in his first 2 holes. Peter Dyson, a leader by 4 after 2 days of play, a leader by 1 after 3 days. He's been playing very consistent golf. He makes a bogey here at the par 3 4th hole, and that's about the only mistake he's made early today, right around par as he's making the turn. Here we see him clean this up for his bogey. Now we move to Mark Wilson at the 5th hole. That's his second birdie in 5 holes, and Mark will make the turn with the 33. No one really making a move. Dyson still in control as he looks to make pars. So we take a look at your current leaderboard. The 4th round has Peter Dyson on top at 10 under, a 3-stroke lead over Mike Schwartz at 7. Robbie Skinner follows, tied with Thompson, Ford, and Slevin at 6 under par. Chad Campbell and Adam Thomas at 5 under, followed by Sterling, Dantzler, and Brett Nutt at 4 under par. And there you see Brent Winston at 3 under par through 11.
Keith Haring's final round, Greg Reed, Fayetteville, Arkansas, Dickie Thompson, Peachtree City, Georgia, Brett Nutt from Houston, Texas, Mark Wilson from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Chad Brandt from Spring, Texas, and Brooks Blackburn of Belvedere, South Carolina. Others, Mike Schwartz of Phoenix, Brent Winston of Sheridan, Arkansas, 97th Player of the Year Steve Ford's playing with Dean Larson, and our final pairing, Peter Dyson and Brian Slevin. Our final 3 holes of coverage now starts at the par 4 16th. Nobody knows this layout any better than the head professional, Matt Swanson.
Number 16 is a dogleg right par 4, about 371 yards, and it's an elevated green. The pin's going to be up on the front right, so the players will probably want to take a 3-wood out and leave it back about 100 yards so they can have a full shot in. Some of them might try to get it up close to the green. That leaves them a pretty tough chip. Moving on to 17. 17 is a real good par 3. It's about 178 yards, and it can be deceiving from the tee. The tee is back in the trees, and you can't really feel the wind back there, so it usually tends to play about a club further than most people will think. The pin is going to be cut back left on this hole, which will make a real good shot for that hole there. And then we're moving on to 18. 18, I think, is a great finishing hole. It's a classic risk-reward golf hole where you can hit a good drive and possibly have a long iron or fairway wood into a par 5 that's guided by water. So there's a chance at either making a 3 or a 7 on a finishing hole, which will make for an exciting finish.
Hi, I'm Christy from Hooters off of Kirby. We'll be right back. TJ and I were just walking through the park, and out of nowhere, a little boy comes up to me and says, "Can I have your autograph?" I looked around and I said, "Me? Why me?" He says, "Well, my dad and I were in the restaurant the other day, and you're our Hooters girl." I love my job. You know, Hooters has provided me the opportunity to pursue my education in broadcast journalism. One day, Tom Brokaw, I'm gonna have your job. And TJ, he never has to worry about where his next bone's coming from. Come see me at Hooters.
Do you want to cut fat without losing flavor? Are you looking for a product that's all natural and preservative-free? Then get out of the aisle and get over to the fresh produce department, where all the fresh fruits and vegetables are. Introducing Naturally Fresh Fat-Free Dressings. Naturally Fresh dressings are 100% natural. We've cut the fat, but left all the flavor. Naturally Fresh Fat-Free Dressings. The name is our promise.
For the first time in Houston, you can live in a guard-gated community with homes from the 100s to the 200s. Welcome to Canyon Gate, now open in 2 locations. Canyon Gate at historic Cinco Ranch on Mason Road south of I-10, and Canyon Gate at North Point on Highway 249 south of Tomball. 2 distinguished communities featuring Houston's premier builders and all the peace of mind of Canyon Gate.
Joining me now out on the golf course for our final round of action, here's Gary Lee.
Thank you, Lee. We're at the 18th with Dickie Thompson, his second shot into the par 5, and it doesn't look like he likes it too much.
Well protected on this par 5 with the water and the sand around the green.
Here's Greg Reed, even on today's round, 3 under for the tournament.
Greg Reed, he's had 3 top 10 finishes this year, and he's out of South Africa.
Back to 16, Brent Winston at the 371-yard par 4, 6 under, 1 under today, 3 under on the back.
He's out of Sheridan, Arkansas, went to the University of Arkansas.
Now Mike Swartz, his second shot into 16, who is 7 under for the tournament.
Well, Mike's had really a good, consistent year. He has made 15 of 16 cuts. Played on the PGA Tour last year. Talk to him about coming back to the Hooters Tour.
You know, Mike, you played on the PGA Tour, and let's face it, coming back, sort of have to reassess and regroup. But you know what? You've come back and you've done it like the true gentleman you are and the competitor that you are. And you're one of those guys that say, wherever I play, you know, I'm going to give it the best. For you, it's been, I think, the kind of year where you got some production, haven't you?
Well, thanks, Lee. It is tough coming back.
Sure.
It's a big step coming back the other way. But I've just tried to really go out and be prepared each week and go out and give it the best I've got. That's all I can do.
Updating the final round leaderboard now, Peter Dyson has got a 5-shot lead after 11 holes. Skinner's next, and then it's Mike Swartz, Steve Ford, Chad Campbell. Brian Slevin started the day just a shot off the lead, but he's had some problems. Dickie Thompson talked earlier about the heat and playing in it.
The weather's been just awful the last couple of weeks, Dickie. Does this present any special problems to you as a player, I mean, in dealing with the weather also?
Well, you just have to get ready for it. You know it's going to be hot, so you have to drink plenty of fluids, you know, the night before and before you go out and all during the day. So you just have to be prepared.
Lee, this will get you hot. A moment ago, Dickie Thompson at the green side bunker on 18. You see his 3rd shot does not make it out of the sand. Here's his 4th shot, and guess what? He's still in the sand. And now finally the 5th shot, and he's out safely on the green.
You don't like that kind of outcome.
Greg Reed, after watching that display, wants to make sure he gets out of the bunker.
They put brand new sand in here right before the event, and it has really created some problems.
And he flies the green, Lee.
It's been a frustrating year for Greg Reed of South Africa.
I've been really frustrated this year. You know, I've been working on a few things and made some changes, and they're starting to come right now. And it's you know, it's kind of a case of testing your patience, but I feel like I'm on the right track, and I feel like I'm getting close to playing really good.
And we're back with Reed after a drop from going in the hazard. Not a bad effort there. Back to 16, the 3rd shot of Schwartz, just off the green, this for birdie.
Mike's typically a real good player around the greens as close, and that was excellent. We mentioned earlier he's made 5 top 10 finishes this year and came in 2nd at Monroe. He's only missed, again, 1 cut.
Over to 18, Dickie Thompson trying to salvage a bogey out of this deal, putting for a 6, and he's missed it to the right.
Well, here we are back at 16, and this is Brent Winston. This is for a birdie. He had birdies at 12, 13, and 14, so he's really had the short stick going. He's 26th on the money list, another one of those Razorback golfers. The Hooters Tour's had a number of them, Jack O'Keefe, Mike Schwartz, John Daly way back, and also Brent Winston, probably of the more recent additions of the Arkansas golfers. He's made about half the cuts this year, so he's been up and down, and so far this is his best single showing of the year. Brent Winston.
And we move back to 13. Brian Slevin. Lee, this guy started the day 10 under par. He's lost 5 strokes to par.
Well, 3 of those were lost on the first 2 holes at Tough. Par 5 second, he double bogeyed, and he bogeyed the first hole also.
Now Peter Dyson for birdie. Peter's come close, but no wins yet on the Hooters Tour. 7 top 10 finishes, though.
Yeah, he's third in the money, a little over $52,000. And being a banker, he knows exactly how to take care of the money, and he's also an outstanding representative of this golf tour. He was our co-host actually for the pairings party at Ravenel on Tuesday night. Did an excellent job. He's quite a young man, and he's a success in life, and he's going to be a success at whatever he tries doing, and just one of those people you're glad to be around.
Now Chad Brandt at 17. He's 5 over for the day.
That one seemed to sort of get away from him a little bit.
About 45 feet from the hole. Blackburn next to tee, coming off a birdie at 16. He needs a little push here.
That takes a nasty kick there. Brett Nutt is making his first appearance on the Hooters Tour. He's an assistant at the Champions. Talked about playing this tour.
What about you and golf and competitive golf? Is this just a one-time thing for you?
Yeah, it is. I mean, I just enjoyed playing this week. I still like to play in tournaments when I can, but I'm still going to keep my job by all means.
Your full-time job,
yeah.
Your day job, right?
Yeah, this was just fun.
Talk about the Open experience for you going to the United States Open a few weeks ago.
Going there, I didn't know what to expect exactly. I was really happy to get there to measure my game against the best in the world, and I came away. I left a lot of doubts there, and I put it that way.
Now let's take a look at your official money winnings. Through the event of just a week ago in Dallas, Texas, Bob Heinz, your top guy, that was after that $35,000 first place check earlier this year at Decatur, Alabama. Zoran Zorkic at $61,000, followed by Chad Campbell. Scott Medlin, $38,000. Steve Pope is up there with $31,000. And Ray France. Well, Ray has not won for some time on the Hooters Tour. He did win at Dallas, and was a happy and relieved young fella to get back into the winner's circle.
Going into Dallas, I'd played pretty steady all year long, just nothing, never really had the whole game come together, and I was like, questioning myself just because I hadn't done it in a long time, and I was like, well, maybe it's all over, maybe this is my last hurrah, but knowing that I can still do it it's really big for me, and my confidence level's high again, and I'm ready to keep going.
Let's check out the $500,000 Naturally Fresh Winners Points Championship race. Boy, as we have about 5 events left in the year, Zoran Zorkic is still on top, but not by that much over Scott Medlin. And there's Chad Campbell, Bobby Heinz, Peter Dyson, and Mike Schwartz, all on page 1. Still very much in the hunt with the 5 events to go. Some of the others, Brian Slevin, who had a great tournament in Dallas and has been playing steady all year long. Jason Caron, Dean Larson's at 1,424, just over that 1,424 points.
Now Mark Wilson's second shot into the 511-yard par 5 18th. Looks like a 2 or 3 iron, Lee. What do you think about that selection?
Well, he did not find his intended target. He'll end up taking a drop.
Now, Lee, here's Brandt at 17 for birdie. He's even on the day. Ahead to the home hole, Brett Nutt laying up on his second shot, now his third.
He works across the street at the Champions Club from Ravenel. He's an assistant over there and obviously a fine player.
Now back to 17, Blackburn for birdie, his second in a row, as a matter of fact.
Well, he's 4 under for the tournament. Oh,
yes.
Well, he's 5 under for the tournament. I stand corrected.
Very nicely done. To 16, Steve Ford, his second shot. Steve's almost made $40,000 this year, 6 top 10 finishes.
Yeah, and he had that victory in Louisville that sort of, you're always looking for that win, and he said, I still hope I can find me another win yet this year. And pretty good shot. He's got the uphill opportunity there.
This guy's been consistent. Dean Larson has made 12 of 16 cuts this year.
And his stroke average is just a little over 70.
At 17, Schwartz at the 178-yard par 3. He's ranked 3rd on the tour in birdies.
233 of those, they never hurt you.
Now Winston, he's 6 under, trying to finish strong and get into second place.
Well, he's 3 under par on the back 9. I like this kid's game. He's trying to become more consistent.
To 18 now, Brett Nutt for birdie. Even par round today, 4 under for the event.
It's a little tricky the way this is cut today and coming out of this tall grass. You really got to measure that thing properly. Oh, a wonderful opportunity there, and he gave it a good run.
Now Mark Wilson putting to save par after going into the hazard on his second shot.
I just think this young man is one of the bright lights on this tour. Played in the U.S. Open. He is just an outstanding package of talent. Let's check out the leaderboard at the Ravenel Golf Classic. Peter Dyson through 15 holes, a commanding 4-shot lead over Mike Schwartz, who is at the 16th hole. Tony Kindred is the managing general partner at Ravenel. He has a background in golf.
I played in college and tried the big tour in 1970 and 71, and when I didn't qualify, I didn't have another tour to play like some of these kids, so sent me back to graduate school.
Hi, I'm Katie. I work for Hooters at Wood Lake Square, and we'll be right back with more golf action.
There's ordinary beer. And then there's Michelob. Beer or Michelob?
Finding the best bottled water can be very confusing. At first glance, all water looks the same. But if you scientifically precipitate out the solids, you discover all water is not equal. Introducing naturally fresh, pure spring mountain water, refreshingly pure. This naturally fresh spring water adds extra quality to the all-natural goodness of every naturally fresh product. Make the clear choice. Naturally fresh, pure spring mountain water.
Race fans, the thunder of USAR Hooters Pro Cup racing roars into a track near you. So beware. USA International Speedway, Langley, Peach State, Tri-County, Concord, and more. Hooters Pro Cup is 250 laps of kicking the asphalt. In your face. No holds barred. Short track racing. Jay Fogelman, the coach Jerry Glando, Justin Labonte, Mario Gosselin, and more lead the field in the chase for more than $2 million. For ticket information, call 800-852-7223. Don't miss the excitement of USAR Hooters Pro Cup racing.
We're at the Raveno Golf Classic in Houston, Texas. We're at 16 with Steve Ford for his birdie.
Well, Steve didn't have his family with him for this event. Sharon and Carly have been doing a lot of traveling, but he said just a bit too far, so they're at home in Melbourne, Florida. And he picks up an extra $5,000, part of his bonus program from last year, winning the Naturally Fresh Winners Points Championship every time he shows up for an event this year, so that's nice. Steve Ford.
Sounds like a deal to me. Now Larson for birdie. Oh.
Half the hole.
You got to have those to win a tournament league.
Well, he finishes this one off. Young man out of Australia who makes his home in Texas now.
Now Mike Swartz on the 17th tee, a 34 on the front, even on the back on today's round.
Mentioned earlier about Mike and his consistency in his play.
Next is Winston, 6 under par, 59 birdies on this hole in 4 days. Played pretty easily.
Yeah, but there were some that played really difficult, like the par 5 second hole and some of those where on the last day there was only like 3 birdies on that hole.
Our leader, Peter Dyson out of Pensacola, Florida, his approach to 16, he's got a 3.9 average on par 4s played this season.
Peter Dyson is, again, a veteran player, but he's only been a pro a year and a half.
Now Brian Slevin, 20th in the money with a little over $23,000 this year.
He's 7th in the points race. We've mentioned so many times before, a good package of talent, good swing. Out of the University of Georgia, a fine player there, played with some great players over there, and he's got a lot of talent. Brooks Blackburn at the 18th tee, and he is safely into the fairway. One of the young men we talked to playing at home, Chad Brandt.
You're playing in front of the home folks. Talk about the stress and playing in front of mom and dad and everybody you know.
I was more nervous the first day. I hit a wrong ball, had a 2 penalty shots, and it was tough to gather that back, and shot 73, but that was my high round. After that, more people came out and they started watching me and cheering me on, and it's had a lot of fun, and I got myself back in contention. So it's not too nervous now. Now it's a lot of fun, so I'm enjoying it. I'm going to have a lot of fun today.
At the 17th, Swartz for his birdie.
Mike goes right after it. Just a little bit more distance from the hole than he would like. So he will not be pleased with that effort.
Now Winston for his birdie at 17.
Gives it a good roll. Just misses.
How do you think the heat has affected the players here, Lee?
Well, the guys all talked about, really getting a lot of fluid, making sure they had plenty of water, and on all of our golf courses we do that. Brian Slevin, right now he's suffering from ouchitis. He just didn't believe that he couldn't get that one to find the hole. So he'll finish up his work here as we check out. Our leader is Brian, still concerned about that putt. Here's Peter Dyson now. This is for birdie at the 16th, the par 4. And when he's looking down there like that, he told us later that he's just saying, get the line. And after he gets that pre-shot routine going, and he says, don't forget, get it to the hole. Always important. It's for birdie to get to minus 12. Remember, after 36 holes, he was at minus 13, so he's fallen victim a little bit like a lot of the other guys, backing up just a bit. Those are the kind that really give you white hair early. At the 17th hole, as Dyson just goes ahead and finishes this little tap, waiting for us to get over there is our guy Steve Ford, again the 97 Player of the Year, and Peter a little bit unhappy there. That would have been nice to pad the lead. Here's Ford, 178 yards to the tee. Maybe hitting a 6-iron, maybe a 5-iron. He'll like that. He gets it very, very close. Dean Larson is out of Australia, lives in Texas, and he talked about playing well this year. He's just an outstanding young man, and I had a great visit with him as you watch his shot at the 17th playing today with Ford. But he's quite a guy and has a lot of friends out here. But he said, I'm playing about like I want to.
You've been playing well. Talk about that and talk about dealing with that and expectations. Are you about where you want to be?
Yeah, I've been playing well the last few weeks now. I was a little disappointed with yesterday's round. I got into some trouble out there and a couple of bunkers, had a couple of double bogeys, but it's been going well. And
here's Blackburn's second shot into the par 5 18th. Sweet swing. He'll be just off to the left of the green. Next up, Chad Brandt. He's got to be thinking one more hole, get me in 6 over for the round today.
Let's say a lot of family and friends out here today watching him and all week. He's had a good tournament.
Now Mike Schwartz back at the tee at 18.
Plays a good, steady game of golf. And Brent Winston has been playing very well, and he's been playing since he's been 3 years old.
I've been playing since probably I was 3 years old, so I guess my late teens is whenever I started giving thought to. I got offered a scholarship to Arkansas, and then it just kind of snowballed.
Now here's Larson for his birdie at 17. Just a bit left of the hole. He'll clean that one up.
On these short putts, you take nothing for granted. How many times have you seen guys get over putts like this and all of a sudden they wind up being embarrassed? But not on this one.
I know I've done it plenty of times. Up next, Steve Ford. He's got a good chance here. This could get him to 8 under par. This is for his birdie.
He really didn't get any part of the hole, and that's when Steve puts that head down and goes, Steve, what are you thinking? At the finish of that, we'll join up with Brooks Blackburn. He's got this for an opportunity for eagle. Wow. And it still hasn't stopped rolling. Yes, it finally did, some 10, 11 feet away. Let's check out our Ravenel Classic leaderboard now. Peter Dyson continues to lead after 15 holes. He is at 11 under. A couple of players at 7 under, Schwartz and Steve Ford. Wes Kirkham is the other managing general partner of Ravenel, and he said, glad to have the Hooters Tour here this week.
Gosh, Lee, we are, as you know, just tickled to death to have something like this here. It's been a while since we've had something of this magnitude, and really exciting to get out and see how these young guys can play. My goodness, they are 64s and 65s, numbers that we're not used to around here, but we're tickled to death with it. Our membership has been, real excited about it. We've had their total support, and it's just been fun for us.
Mike Schwartz in the fairway at 18, and Lee, he's going for the green and 2 here.
A lot of guys did, and again, a great risk-reward type of hole.
He's safely on about 40 feet away from the flag. Not a bad shot there. Now Winston, this guy's had a pretty good tournament here, Lee.
Really had a good tournament. Another guy with a good tournament's Peter Dyson. He is at 35 years old, one of the older guys on the tour, but he uses that experience well.
In terms of age and everything, you're still a young guy, but you do have that advantage a lot of times when you're playing. Is that a distinct advantage, or maybe they've been playing competitively longer than you have?
I think it's an advantage. I may be a little bit tougher mentally on the golf course since I've been in the real world for 9 years, being a former banker and knowing this is supposed to be fun. And even though the last hole yesterday wasn't fun, but it's more fun to me. I look at it more of it's a job, granted, and I really enjoy it, but I try to have the most fun that I possibly can out there. And I think that's to my advantage.
Speaking of advantage, he has it here on 17, our leader by 4 strokes. Beautiful shot.
Really is.
Now Brian Slevin, slow day for this guy.
Well, he misses that one just a little bit to the left. Steve Ford is a man of few words, a great player, though. We talked to him.
Steve, I think you've kept yourself under a lot of pressure this year. You were Player of the Year last year, did an awful lot of things last year. As a matter of fact, you almost had a perfect year last year. That's hard to duplicate, isn't it?
Yeah, I got off to a pretty slow start. Attitude was pretty poor, but it's gotten better in the last 2 months, so I'm not going to look behind me.
Playing with Ford and heading home, here's Dean Larson.
Who finds the middle of the fairway with that one?
Now, an eagle attempt for Mike Schwartz on the home hole.
There were 15 eagles on this hole all week long. Nice effort there.
Now back to 17. This is Slevin, a guy who's got one of the best short games around, Lee.
Really has. Never tired of talking about Brian Slevin. And another splendid effort right there.
And now for eagle Brent Winston to finish 8 under par and in a tie for second place.
And he did it. What a move there on that one. Brent Winston, as Mike Schwartz now, he'll finish up this for his birdie. So these two guys combined for an eagle, and Mike hopefully is going to tap this one in for his birdie. So if they were playing as a team, a big advantage right here. And speaking of being right here, we'll be back right here right after this. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Amy, Hooters Woodlake. Stand by for more golf action.
You know what they say, sauce sells.
Naming our salad dressing Naturally Fresh gives us a lot to live up to. So we use only the freshest vegetables and spices. And because we add no preservatives, you won't find Naturally Fresh on the salad dressing aisle. You'll only find it in the refrigerated produce section. Naturally Fresh gives you premium quality without the premium price. We're located with the rest of the fresh produce. So try us next time you shop for fresh fruits and vegetables. The Naturally Fresh name is our promise.
My barbecue sauce has the big, bold taste that really makes barbecue taste great. Barbecue sauce.
That's not barbecue sauce. This is barbecue sauce.
Jackaroo barbecue sauce. Big taste from a big place.
For the first time in Houston, you can live in a guard-gated community with homes from the 100s to the 200s. Welcome to Canyon Gate, now open in 2 locations. Canyon Gate at historic Cinco Ranch on Mason Road south of I-10, and Canyon Gate at North Point on Highway 249 south of Tomball. 2 distinguished communities featuring Houston's premier builders, and all the peace of mind of Canyon Gate.
We're back at 17 at the Ravenel Golf Classic. Here's your leader, Dyson, and this former banker would love to deposit this one right in the hole, Lee.
Hey, I like your comment there, Gary. And I'm sure he would like nothing better because there's a lot of interest in what he does here today. With $25,000 first prize on the line. And as in every NGA Hooters Tour event, they get to take that money right to the bank. Speaking of money, boy, you talk about that $500,000 Naturally Fresh Winners Points Championship. Wow, he just left that one just a bit short. Yeah, clean that up.
Guess you could say he left the vault unlocked on that one?
Yeah, but he is your leader.
Now Steve Ford's third shot into the 18th hole.
Isn't that beautiful the way that's laid out there? There are 36 holes at Ravenel, the new course and the old course. We are playing the old course. This ball wound up about 25 feet below the hole there.
Now Larson here in 2, this for eagle.
A tough chip to get this one even any place close. And you got to say not bad. I mean, when you think about where he came from there.
Now up on the tee at 18, Peter Dyson. He's got a 3-stroke lead, Lee.
Brian Slevin started the day just a shot back and in good position, and I talked to Brian about it.
How do you sort of prepare yourself for, really maybe the best position you've ever been in?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if you ever really feel really comfortable with it. I mean, everyone out here loves competition. I do. I love getting out there. Peter's a good friend of mine, and I'm sure we're going to be battling, wanting to, strangle each other out there. Not, in theory, wanting to beat each other's brains out, but, we'll sit down and have a cold beer afterwards and, laugh about it, and it's just good, friendly competition.
Let's look once again. We've talked so much about the big $500,000 Naturally Fresh Winners Points Championship. $200,000 to first place, second place $50,000, $25,000 for third on down to $15,000, $10,000, and $9,000 for sixth place. And again, 50 players figuring this all together at the end of the season. 7th, 8th, 9th, $6,500 for ninth place. 10th place is $6,000. And when you take $500,000, boy, and you spread it over the season, these young men have a lot to play for.
Here's Steve Ford for birdie on 18 to go to 8 under and climb into a 3-way tie for second. He's got to love that one. Right into the heart of the hole.
And his caddy for the week. A nice hug for Steve. And he'll do the honors of taking the ball out of the hole.
Next up is Larson for his birdie at 18.
Started to move even before the ball stopped rolling, and that's not a usual good sign. That means I did not quite get it online, and let me try to clean up here some. Good thing you might learn from the pros is they are very deliberate.
Oh no. How did that happen?
That's always a surprise, and obviously the focus just wasn't there. On the Hooters Tour, when it costs you a few $100s, that's a lot of money. And speaking about money, let's show you the official earnings through Dallas, Texas, as Larson and Ford exchange gentlemanly handshakes there at the end of their round. Bob Heinz, remember, he wanted to cater with that 60-foot playoff first hole putt. He is the guy leading with the bankers right now, and you see some of the others. Pope's at 31,000, and Corey Bowman down there at 29,000, just ahead of Mark Wilson and Dickie Thompson.
Now Brian Slevin's second shot on 18.
It's that par 5 hole, and again, right in the middle of the green. Let's check out the Naturally Fresh Winners Points Championship race. Don't forget, the players get points by order of finish. It's consistency that's rewarded in this tour. If you win the tournament, you get 200 points and so forth on down the line. And again,
a lot's on the line at the end of the season.
And now Lee, Dyson's third shot into 18.
Well, don't go away too far, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Heather Viasana, the Regional Marketing Manager for the Houston Hooters, and we'd like you to stand by for the results of the NGA tournament.
TJ and I were just walking through the park, and out of nowhere, a little boy comes up to me and says, "Can I have your autograph?" I looked around and I said, "Me? Why me?" He says, "Well, my dad and I were in the restaurant the other day, and you're our Hooters girl." I love my job. You know, Hooters has provided me the opportunity to pursue my education in broadcast journalism. One day, Tom Brokaw, I'm gonna have your job. And TJ, he never has to worry about where his next bone's coming from. Come see me at Hooters.
For the first time in Houston, you can live in a guard-gated community with homes from the 100s to the 200s. Welcome to Canyon Gate, now open in 2 locations. Canyon Gate at historic Cinco Ranch on Mason Road south of I-10, and Canyon Gate at North Point on Highway 249 south of Tomball. 2 distinguished communities featuring Houston's premier builders and all the peace of mind of Canyon Gate.
Back at the Raveno Golf Classic, Dyson will have to chip from off the green for birdie, but he's got to know 3-putt he still wins, Lee.
Well, he left himself some distance there.
Next up is Brian Slevin. This is for an eagle on 18. He really needs to come out of here with something positive.
He really does, and in the 3rd round, he finished when he had that course record tying 64. He finished birdie, birdie, birdie on the 3rd round, and right here he's got an opportunity to make an eagle, and that much left for his birdie.
And a final round of 75.
Not what Brian had in mind, but I talked to him and I told him, you know, being in the final pairing, be that way in a lot of events, and your time is going to come, because he certainly had his heart set on a win today. Now, Peter has this to finish up with a par and to stay at 11 under par for the tournament. This is not to decide whether or not he's going to win the event. It's simply to decide how many shots he's going to win by. He would like to make it, of course. You always like to finish on a high note. Wow. He held his hand out and said, "Okay, folks, let me, no one knows unless you've been there. You know, those kinds of putts, even though they're 2 or 3 inches away, you take nothing for granted." Brian Slevin for birdie.
And a round of 75. And it's in the hole. And now it's come down to this. This is the guy with this putt. His first win on the tour, Peter Dyson. And there it is, your winner of the Raveno Golf Classic in Houston, Texas, Peter Dyson. Very emotional. A fine win in the heat of Houston, Texas for Peter Dyson. His very first win on the tour. Look at all the emotion he's showing on the green. You know, he's worked very hard for it. And I know a lot of the tour players are happy. You see Lee down on the green. Lee's down on the green with the final leaderboard.
Well, at greenside, Peter Dyson, again, the emotions of the moment, is your winner by 2 shots over 3 guys who tied at 8 under par: Schwartz, Winston, and Ford. Skinner was at 6, and so was Brian Slevin. Again, Slevin started the day a shot out of the lead. Some of the others and how they finished this event at the Raveno Country Club in Spring, Texas, just in the northwest part of the city of Houston. Now let's take a look through this event at your official money winnings. Bob Heinz is still on top by some $4,000 over Zoran Zorkic. And the two of them have shared that top spot through much of the year. As you check out some of the others, Brinker and Schwartz, Thompson, Wilson, and Ray France at $30,000 worth so far, with still 5 events to play.
Now a look at the current points. This is through Houston. There you see Double Z, Zoran Zorkic on top of the pack, followed by Scott Medlin, Chad Campbell. Peter Dyson, today's winner, he has jumped from 5th to 4th with today's win. Now, if it was paid out today, that would be worth $15,000, an extra $5,000 for this win today. There you see the other leaders in the points race. And I do believe we've got Lee down on the green. He's with a very emotional winner. Peter Dyson, your champion.
Well, it's been a perfect week. And for the gentleman on my left and on my right, and from the young ladies of the Hooters restaurants representing the Hooters girls from across the country, a perfect ending to a great week. Tony Kidred is the gentleman that is the owner here at the Raveno Country Club. It's our host site. I know for you to have a young man over here with Florida connections, and you have some Florida connections yourself.
Yes, I do.
$25,000 is very meaningful, and the win is very meaningful for Peter Dyson. I know that you're proud of him.
We sure are. Peter, great round.
Thank you.
Wire to wire. What a great way to do it.
Thank you very much.
First win?
Yes, sir.
Oh, boy. It's great. We're so proud of you. Glad to have you.
Thanks.
Hooters Tour's been great for us here, Lee. We've made some great friends. We're sure looking forward to having you all back next year.
Tony, we certainly appreciate that. Peter Dyson has been on the leaderboard several times in the last 2 years. A unique story because he left the desk of a comfortable job as a banker and said, I want to go out and go after some bigger dollars if they're there. And today, with $25,000 to put in the bank, certainly being a banker, you know that, but
yes.
I know you're thinking about a lot of people and a lot of things right now, Peter, and I know that the family back home, they have made the sacrifice, your wife and daughter, for you to be out here.
They certainly have. My wife's given me a wonderful opportunity to play. She's, gave me the opportunity. She said, I'll pay the bills and you go play, and it's been working out real well. Now I can actually probably help pay a bill or two with this check, which I feel like I'm now doing my part. I'm pretty lucky with who I'm married to, and I have a wonderful 6-year-old little girl named Margaret Ann, and I really can't wait to go home and see him tonight.
Peter Dyson shot 10 under par. He led wire to wire. He owned this tournament from the outset. He was 13 under par after 2 rounds of play. He continued to lead throughout the week. At 10 under par, he's a champion of the first annual Raveno Classic. So on behalf of Peter, Tony Kindred, and the Hooters girls from across America, and especially here in the Houston, Texas area, thanks a lot for joining us this week. And again, I'm Lee Moore saying so long, everybody.
This broadcast is brought to you by Hooters Restaurants, home of world-famous chicken wings, and the nearly world-famous Hooters girls. And by naturally fresh, pure spring mountain water. All water is not pure. Taste the quality of naturally fresh, pure spring water. By Jackaroo Sauce. If you just got sauce, you ain't got Jack. And by smooth, rich-tasting Michelob. Beer or Michelob.